Welcome, story seekers, to 10-minute stories in Fort Hop Wilson. This is a place where all of these stories are made completely up on the spot, completely improvised, no planning or writing beforehand. Everything you see and hear is prepared as I go with no safety net. However, as we last left Byron, he had just defeated the skeleton beetle and had been able to pour blood from it, realizing that it would be able to cure the ailing, dying children of this village of his. And yet, as he had just defeated the creature, he notices that the skeleton beetle's head somehow shifts from the top of its torso all the way down and stares at him. And he hears a voice say, "If you think that you can defeat me that easily, death will come for you." But it doesn't seem to be coming out of the mouth of the beetle as if it's talking, only as if it's some kind of monster speaking through this. As for this point, the only dark force Byron has known is that who killed his mother, his potential father, and the sword itself. But it seems as if something bigger, someone bigger, is at play. Someone is after the fate of Byron and is trying to create attention. However, Byron knows one thing. He must save the princess that he fought the skeleton beetle for, and he must save these children. He quickly scoops the blood up in a vial and hands it to the closest cleric, who whips up a potion. As the children are force-fed the blood potion, they realize that the veins of black death that are covering their faces actually begin to dissipate and disappear. They revive, but as Byron looks at them, he sees a shadow of death upon them. He may have defeated the skull beetle. He may have saved this village for now, but he knows that something has not happened the way it was supposed to. He has no idea what, but someday, soon, he will. As he walks around the village and sees all who have been saved, he again sees that shadow of death. It reminds him of the image, the visage of his father killing his mother. It reminds him of the visage of the shadow that comes from the blade, but it also seems to carry itself as if the shadow itself is made of death, as if these children, these villagers, are now caught in some fate that they cannot escape. Byron hands his head low and looks as if everything in the world that has happened has hit him so hard, as it has. He looks down and begins to cry, and then a gentle hand places upon his shoulder. It is the princess that was before him. She is a radiant beauty, not human, but still beautiful. Byron looks, and tears in his eyes, he wells up and says, "How can I stop this? I was just a child a mere days ago. Now I'm caught in some twisted fate." The princess looks at him and says, "It is fate that sometimes chooses us, not the other way around." And as he looks, he gives her a hug and holds on to her. And as he does, they embrace. As Byron holds on to this new ally, this new friend, he realizes that her frame is not what matches her face. It appears as if she's wearing some sort of spell over her face. And he notices that she has an orcish, strong, muscular frame. But it does not trouble him. It does not bother him. He is content in his new friend. He is content in his new situation for now, as he has found someone who can finally comfort him, who can finally wash away the pain that he's felt and the terror and the fear that he has held on to. Even if this woman that he's just met is an orc, even if she has done what so many say about orcs of killing and plundering and destroying, he knows that this one is different. This could not be true of his new ally. She's been nothing but compassionate and kind. She has not once tried to hurt anyone, only aid Byron. As he stands and lets go of the hug, she looks at him as in a moment of fear, as if he's seen and realized what she really is. He looks at her and whispers, "Your secret is safe from me, but we must go." Suddenly, Byron hears a screech, and he sees a giant eagle flying in the distance. He sees somehow a silver bow, as if it was meant for him to see it. His magic itself would allow him to see into the sky and know that this was his mother's bow. But it wasn't silver when she had it. It was actually a bronze gift given to her by the father of her son, her lover, her confidant. But Byron knows this to be hers. He wonders why his mother was fated to be such a recipient of a cruel, savage destiny, as if she was cursed to have him as her child, as if his very existence is why she is dead. All of a sudden, with a strong, broad swing of her arm, the princess slaps Byron out of his state of pity, and she tells him to aim and run after her. The two go running quickly after the raven, and they can see that it is truly a raven. The bird seems to shift between raven, eagle, crow, and it seems to be made out of shadows. As Byron goes running, he notices that even in his athletic frame, the princess has at least 10 paces on him. He is trained from birth to lift, carry, and run with as much capacity as possible, but he realizes one thing. It is true. Orcs are stronger. They are fiercer, but they are also capable of great compassion. He does not know why this orc has decided to help him, but he has a feeling their fates are intertwined. As he runs, he notices her hair billow in the dark light, and he sees that it is, in fact, a deep brown and ebony almond color. And he looks and he says to himself, "She's actually quite beautiful." They continue to run, and I see the raven lands somehow in one moment on a tree just paces away, but its shadow goes to the mountain miles and miles away. As Byron follows the true raven to the tree, he looks up and sees a strange figure robed in a cloak that billows with dark magic. He looks up and calls out and says, "Who are you? What are you doing here? And why do you have my mother's ribbon?" The creature stands there, beckoning him to climb up. He tries, but the princess grabs him and says, "Shh, wait. We must see what this is going to be." This forest is known for its shadows, for its darkness, and for its trickery. Byron looks around and realizes that he sees that this forest is very similar to the one that he saw in his vision of the sword's ambitions, the ones that turn him. He looks at the shadow creature and sees that it looks very similar to what the shadow looked like in his vision as well. He calls out, "Grandfather, help me now," but there is no resounding reply. He calls out again, "Help me, grandfather, help me," but there is again no reply. All of a sudden, the creature begins to fall, billowing down as if it shadows itself. It floats effortlessly from tree branch to tree branch, never really touching the actual branches, but never really staying in air at the same time. All of a sudden, Byron is placed in front of something that terrifies him and deeply gives him a sense of curiosity. And he calls out, "Who are you?" one more time. The creature opens its mouth, and that is where we'll leave it today. Sorry for the absence in these stories. I have been going through a lot of house redesigns, a lot of personal and mental things, and with the heat of the summer, this has just been a really hard series to carry out, but I'm hoping this new format will be perfect. Thank you for the support, and I'll see you guys in another video very soon.